E aí pessoal, RockZero aqui com mais um pouco de Vampyr, né? Tomara que esse vídeo aqui eu não fique travado no único inimigo que não fiquei no outro. Vamos voltar aqui para o jogo, né? Engraçado se eu volto e o bicho tá vivo ainda. Nossa. Aí é pra cá, pá. Esse jogo aqui, seriamente, eu confesso que meio que tô um pouco arrependido aqui de ter feito a série, né? Porque eu pensei que agora ele seria muito melhor para fazer live. Nossa. Eu acho que eu usei um... Esse controle é uma merda, meu. O controle do Xbox 360. Apertei pra esquerda pra trocar de arma, eu tomei injeção. Isso não fez o menor sentido pra mim. Deixa eu voltar ali, né? Sair desse lugar. E não é estranho se eu parar de falar do nada, é porque... Bom, tem gente em casa, então se o pessoal começar a fazer barulho, eu sou obrigado a ficar quieto pra poder cortar o áudio deles. Ah, esse cara é novo aqui. Desconhecido?
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed of the Pembroke Hospital. May I be of assistance?
Dr. Reed. So it's you who saved my friend Oswald. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir.
And you are?
Newton Blight. Oswald and I recently returned from the war.
Ah, vamos só fazer a perguntinha aqui, né?
Why do you stay here now that Mr. Thatcher's back?
It's complicated. Since the war, Oswald's been really nervous with the idea of entering any hospital. And me, I've got my own issues.
Can you speak about them?
Rats, sir. Even seeing one, they turn me. Just want to run. It's that fear that stopped me from going after Oswald when he left.
Nossa, o cara tem medo de ratos.
What can you tell me about the war, Mr. Blight? If you want to speak about it, of course.
War was... Well, you know, sir. The stench of death everywhere. Your mates lying bleeding in the mud. Just praying to make it through and get home. Bloody nightmare.
I fought in France, too. I served as a field surgeon. It was not uncommon to repel an assault, especially at night.
Yeah. The first time I was wounded, I had to protect the infirmary from hostiles. Twice.
Did you know Oswald Thatcher before the war?
No. We met in the battlefield. I think we're in the same boat to France. We've stuck together ever since.
What caused your phobia of rats, Newton?
It happened last year following an artillery attack. I was trapped for 2 days in a hole under 2 dead soldiers. And there were rats.
Go on.
They started eating me as soon as I dozed. Gnawing at my ears, with fingers, lips. I couldn't move. Couldn't call for help.
I see.
No, you don't. You have no idea what it is to wake up buried under bodies. Fucking vermin eating your flesh. Oswald, He found me and saved me.
Goodbye, Mr. Blight. Take care of yourself.
Nossa, o cara tem fobia de rato, mano. O outro ele é saudável pra caramba, 2000 de... pouco de XP. Vamos prosseguir aqui para aquele... deixa eu ver aqui, hospital. Marcador personalizado do jogador. Não lembro de ter colocado esses marcadores. Esse aqui é... pra eu subir lá e descobrir. Deixa eu ver esse aqui rapidamente. Eu meio que já tô alguns... acho que uns 2, 3 vídeos com... pra fazer essa side quest, né? A dura que não dá pra subir ali. Deixa quieto esse negócio. Eu sinto que se eu for ficar correndo atrás de sidequest eu não avanço com a história aqui. Nossa, eu tenho que passar pela ponte. Burro. Estado de Street grave. Nossa, tá cheio de vampiro aqui. Caramba! Não, cara, isso não é possível. Eu tomei 2 tapas. Tudo bem que o bicho era nível 18, mas cara, tá ridículo isso aí. Vai, jogo, carrega logo. Meu Deus, onde que eu vou voltar? Vai, jogo. Meu Deus, mexe o personagem. Tá quase matando isso. Deixa eu ver aqui. Nossa, eu peguei o negócio no momento que eu matei o cara. Bilhete dos botineiros. Quando recrutamento de novos botineiros em Whitechapel. Chama-se que a ele é burro como uma porta, mas durão. Beleza. Nova pista sobre o cara ali, Albert Vampyr, sei lá. Caramba, meu, bicho muito forte. O outro que tá lá é novato da Priven. Ah, deixa eu ver aqui, parece que não tem nada dentro dessa casa. Ou esse aqui é um esconderijo que eu descobri. Não deve ser esconderijo não tem nada. Combatente, o cara é nível 12. Tá começando a aparecer uns inimigos mais chatinhos aí. Nossa, de onde veio esse cara? Meu Deus, o cara tá de 12. Caramba, meu! Sai daí! Meu. Cacete! Eu não acredito que eu travei aqui e não podia sair. Cara, muda o jogo, mas o mesmo problema continua. Sempre tem aquele canto que você fica travado e você acaba morrendo por besteira. No meu caso, eu quase morri aqui. Toma sangue, né? Deixa eu chupar o sangue desse rato. Ah, um esconderijo aqui. Ah, bom. Cara, deixa eu ver se eu consigo... Não, ainda falta empunhadeira. O facão só tem essa atualização. Ah, esse facão tem 64 de dano, né? O porrete aqui vai ter muito mais, mas eu não posso melhorar o porrete. Scal furtivo. E tem um cara lá. Vamos sorrateiramente ali. Ou não, né? Cara, tá longe ainda.
It's locked, all right. Not a good place for a stroll. Step away!
Ah, como é que eu vou passar agora por esse povo? Será que tem jeito de eu passar sem eles ficarem enchendo? Ah, deixa quieto, eu não quero enfrentar esse bicho de novo, não.
Best be moving on.
More and more of these bloody leeches every night. Aye, but the guards recruit more and more every year.
Step away, sir.
Travado.
Better go home, sir.
Ah!
It's locked, all right.
Puta merda, eu não posso destravar a porta? Sou um vampiro, mas não posso destravar uma porta. Ali, olha onde está aquele monte de gente.
I'll put it into you!
Roger a parede. Maluco gigante, meu. Ah, fazer o quê? Somos obrigados aqui a sair descendo porrete em todo mundo.
Whitechapel. This neighborhood is linked somehow to the kind Lady Ashbury's blackmail. First, let's find this Petrescu fellow.
Ó, o outro ali vai se foder, seu bosta. Que isso?
Fuck you all! Fuck it all! Stop it now, Albert, stop it!
Que isso, rapaz?
I'm not dying in some piss-stinking alley reeking worse than a week-old lavvy.
Are you all right?
The bastard hit the wall next to me. I don't even know if he meant to miss.
If you've been hurt, I can help you. I'm a doctor.
Name's Albert. Remember it. Now bugger off.
I found the recruiter you were expecting. He's dead, but he carried a note. The Wet Boot Boys have accepted your application.
I knew it! I told you I was tough enough. I'll be free soon.
Free? You may soon find out that you have simply traded one set of shackles for another.
You're all fancy words, none of which concern me. Go worry about someone else. I'm fine and I have a future here.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? If you know anything about her, I'd appreciate it.
Never heard of her. She's pretty, I'll keep an eye out.
What happened? Did you really steal that man's medication?
Hey, I didn't do anything, it ain't me.
All right. Perhaps the poor drunk just confused you with someone else.
Sod off, mister. You ain't got no clue what's going on here. Bastard was a soldier in the war, so now he's got the right to shoot me.
It's true. I'm not familiar with this part of town. Perhaps you could help me.
I said sod off. Go find yourself another guide.
Não posso mais perguntar
Goodbye, young
nada.
man.
The wet boots will be proud of me.
It's all a bloody... What?
Shooting a boy in the middle of a street. Not the best thing to do, wouldn't you say?
What? You saw what happened? Who are you?
I'm Dr. Reed, and I'd like to ask you a few questions, if you promise me to set your gun aside.
No. Look, I'm not a violent man. I'm Benjamin Palmer, doctor. And no one can help me. Not even you.
Deixa eu ver aqui. Ele sofre de enxaqueca, né?
What is it, Benjamin? It was the war, wasn't it? Your nerves are shot, aren't they? I need some answers, Private. From one soldier to another.
The doctors called me a liar, a coward. Put me in a straitjacket, locked me up. Finally, they sent me back to the front lines with a handful of tablets.
It's a pity that doctors still practice such barbaric methods. It's a dishonor to our profession.
Now only the pills stop me thinking about this shit. To not hear the explosions. I'm even scared of the dark these days.
Whatever the boy did, I'm sure he didn't deserve a public execution.
I swear I didn't want to hit him. It's just that I'm sick in the head, you see, and the boy just frayed me last nerve.
Perhaps you could focus for a moment and tell me your troubles.
I'm sick, broke, and my son just stole my pills. Everything's coming up roses.
What can you tell me about this place?
Nothing to say, really. This is where I used to live, and this is where I live now.
What can you...
Nothing.
You mean you used to have a better life?
Yeah, I had a wife, a home, and a job. I even used to have a name. And now I'm just Ben. Ben the Tramp.
You don't have anywhere to go? No family that would welcome you?
Not since the death of my wife, Albert's mother. She was sick, you see. Long before the flu and all this shit.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? Have you heard anything?
It's funny, I've been searching for her too. I need some pills. But the woman is a phantom, if you ask me.
Really? And why is that?
Word is she ain't real. She's a cover for some doctor who runs an illegal dispensary for migrants.
A gun, alcohol, and a bad temper make a terrible cocktail, sir. Goodbye for now.
Então parece que esse cara conhece a enfermeira.
As long as you have the money.
Good evening, miss.
Good evening, sir. Are you interested in a miraculous cure for this unknown and deadly epidemic?
Actually, I am.
Then you have come to the right place. The famous Swanborough cordial is all you need to help keep you in perfect health.
Oh, really? Why didn't I hear about it during my studies? I'm Jonathan Reed, by the way. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Ah, my brother has spoken of your research, sir. I'm Loretta Swanborough, and it's always a pleasure to meet a fellow healer.
Do you know Nurse Dorothy Crane from the Pembroke Hospital? I'd like to know more about her.
I don't like to talk about competition.
Competition, you say?
Never met her, but it seems she provides some sort of medical care to the poor. The whole thing has to be some sort of scam, if you ask me.
Tell me, who intrigues you most in Whitechapel?
The region itself is something to see, but I would say Camellia the mute florist who gives away her flowers.
What do you think of the locals?
Most of them are afraid or desperate. They all come to me eventually for my remedy.
Is there anyone I should avoid?
Cadogan Bates, without a doubt. The bloody bastard remorselessly exploits poor migrants as soon as they get here.
Ah, então tá mais um cara aí pra gente
Goodbye, Miss
finalizar.
Perhaps we'll talk again.
É interessante como você vai indo pro objetivo, mas tem um monte de outras coisas pra você ir fazendo no caminho.
What do you want? Leave me alone.
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Reed. I'm looking for Nurse Dorothy Crane.
There is no Dorothy Crane here. Now goodbye.
I'm afraid this medical leaflet says the opposite, sir.
Really? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to close this door right now. Go bother someone else, Mr. Doctor.
To enter that house, I must discover who this man really is. Maybe I could start by observing what he's up to.
Parece que eu não posso passar ali, tem alguma coisa. Ah, deixa eu ver aqui, círculo social dele nós não sabemos. O cara sofre de bronquite. E eu preciso de mais pistas.
A strange man was at the door with a pass for our medical facility. I refused him entry.
Darius, how could you know he didn't need our help?
His clothes were too finely tailored to be for Whitechapel.
Perhaps just a friend of that stray poet who is always about.
Richard Nethercott? No, not of the same cloth, this man. I suspect some machination from that journalist.
Clayton Darby. Is he still asking questions?
Yes. I saw him drifting around St. Mary's Church. I swear he is tracking me just downwind.
Ah, apareceu uma nova
I must
pista.
talk to that journalist or the poet. They must know about Darius. Nearby the church they just mentioned.
Aí vamos pra... Nossa, tem dois marcadores.
Joe, please, I don't have your money.
Come on, Barrett, you know the game. You pay for peace of mind.
Can't you just look the other way this week, Joe? Come on, we can sort it out, right?
It's not my call, Barrett. You pay one way or another.
Please, Joe. How long have we known each other? Well, we even used to be neighbours, for Christ's sake.
I'd prefer not to give you another beating, Barrett.
Welcome, sir. Please, take a browse of my wares.
I am Dr. Reed. I would like to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
Doctor? Interesting. I'm Barrett Lewis. Usually I don't have time to waste with talk, but at this hour of the night I can hardly refuse.
As a merchant, you see Whitechapel every day. Have you noticed anything out of the ordinary recently?
Well, you mean besides the epidemic, the war, and all the usual crap? As long as I can remember, this part of town has been a bottomless pit, and no sign of the bottom yet.
Have you been hurt?
No, but that's only because I ran like hell. Those men were raving lunatics, I tell you. Not even able to speak anymore, just screaming.
Violence is increasing in the borough.
Yeah. A few nights ago, some blokes jumped me. Came out of one of the condemned workshops. Fever, madness, something like that.
Where did this happen? Why did you go there?
in the closed workshops nearby. I worked there as an apprentice in better days. Now I only go to find trinkets or tools. Too bad I was mugged, though. There was good money in that little box of loot I lost.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Lewis.
Ah, bastante coisinha. Outra side quest aí. Vamos encontrar o Clayton.
Forgive my interruption.
Do not apologize, my son. Father Tobias Whitaker is always happy to teach mortals about the incoming Armageddon.
I am Dr. Jonathan Reed, and I just have a few questions.
A scientist? You are much more lost than I thought, my son.
What do you mean when you say that I am more lost than you thought?
All scientists are entangled in a world of causes and consequences. And most of them can't see the plain truth.
Quite a judgmental opinion, if you ask me. But what do I know? Blinded by science as I am.
But you are seeking answers, aren't you? Answers about the Armageddon about to strike the city. Answers about the hidden truth.
Well, I suppose I can spare a few minutes listening to your so-called truth.
As a doctor, you must be aware of the decimating epidemic. But let me tell you that this so-called Spanish flu is just the beginning of the end.
What do you mean?
The beast is finally revealing itself, corrupting the flesh and the heart of men. With my own eyes I have seen them, those minions from the abyss.
Really? And what would be your answer to this biblical threat?
We must fight the disease before this legion outnumbers us. But not with scalpels and microscopes. No.
What is left then?
Cleansing fire.
Tell me, Tobias, what exactly is your plan concerning the cleansing of this city?
God will recognize his own. More than once this city has risen from the ashes, hardened and purified by the flames.
Fire is just the instinctive answer of a caveman facing something he does not understand. This is the 20th century.
Your lack of faith is predictable. But my task is to convince rational minds like yours to see the light. This is God's will.
You're mad and dangerous. You're nothing but a soulless butcher. A small-time Torquemada. The Savonarola of Whitechapel.
My son, if you think salvation is a free gift, go listen to the lies of that pompous fool, Joseph.
Joseph, a fool?
Vicar Larrabee of St. Mary's Church. While he continues preaching his fraudulent redemption, more and more people die in the streets.
Have you any friends? Any family left in these terrible times?
No. But I have a disciple I see as my son. He is so devoted. I send him to preach the good word in the heart of this corrupted city.
Where did you send him?
I sent Samuel to the Stonebridge Cemetery, where the pestilence and evil grows night after night.
You sent him on some preaching crusade during the epidemic.
As a true believer, Samuel will fear no evil while he walks through the valley of the shadow of death.
I have heard enough for tonight. Goodbye.
Excuse me, sir. Are you familiar with this part of town? Name's Clayton Darby, reporter.
Sorry, I'm new to Whitechapel. But perhaps you could help me since you're a journalist. My name is Jonathan Reed.
Dr. Reed, the famous surgeon. I'll gladly help if I'm able, sir.
I heard you're investigating an underground medical dispensary in Whitechapel. What do you know about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. They are wary of strangers, and I'm not really an acquaintance of theirs. Why do you care?
I'm afraid one of the nurses from the Pembroke Hospital may be involved with unsavory activities.
Ah, could it be Dorothy Crane?
Without a doubt, you are a damn fine journalist, Mr. Darby. What do you know of her accomplice, a man named Darius?
I don't know much about the man. He's very cautious. Never goes out. Doesn't seem to have any friends or family.
He never goes out?
No. A few days ago, he unexpectedly did. I followed him, but it was just a ruse to keep me away from his house.
Really? How do you know?
He went to the nearest mailbox, but just before posting his letter, he ripped it up and threw it away.
He has no relatives at all?
No. Except for that strange man, a poet named Richard Nethercott, who sometimes comes by. Darius would never let him in.
Where can I find this Mr. Nethercott?
He spends most of his time lurking around Whitechapel, talking to himself or declaring verses. These days, you can usually find him behind the church.
Have you any idea of the danger you face in these streets at night?
I've had to run and hide more than once from frenzied mobs incensed by the fever. Do you think the flu is really responsible for this, Doctor?
I'm convinced there is more at work here than a simple epidemic.
Really? To be honest, I could say the same. Some of the sick I saw or heard of. My God, what happened to them?
Why are the newspapers keeping silent about the Spanish influenza? It's as though none of you care.
There's a war going on. People shouldn't be demoralized by news of deadly diseases.
If no one stops it, this epidemic could turn into a scourge. It may kill more people than the war itself.
Yes, this is another kind of war, but just as deadly. History will judge us all for what we did and what we did not.
What is a journalist doing in this borough after sunset?
He goes where none of his colleagues would dare to go, to inform the country.
That's quite honorable of you. But is the public interested?
Not at all, sir. And that's why I'm an independent journalist, hoping to sell some stories.
So you risk your life to reveal the truth? I saw many reporters do the same during the war.
Whitechapel is the crucible of so many untold stories and tragedies. I want people to know them.
Goodbye, Mr. Darby. Farewell.
Bom, pessoal, esse vídeo já está bem longo, vou deixando o vídeo por aqui e espero que vocês tenham gostado e nós vamos continuar a nossa investigação aqui, né? Agora temos que encontrar o Richard e depois a caixa de correio e a carta que foi rasgada. Esse vídeo vai ficando por aqui e espero que vocês tenham gostado. Se vocês gostaram do vídeo aí, deixe o seu gostei, que isso dá uma força danada pro canal. Também se inscrevam, compartilhem o vídeo aí pra gente poder estar atingindo mais pessoas e o canal poder crescer. E até o próximo vídeo. Fui!